Hey Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here and welcome back to Let's Play Steel Division Normandy 44. Well, more correctly, let's get back to building a new deck because it has been a little bit of time now and another update has dropped. And actually, we're only about 5 days from release and I cannot wait to do a playthrough of the single player campaign and play a little bit more multiplayer online with all the new decks and stuff. So, we're going to start it here, and we're going to be playing with, I think it's the 6th Airborne, so we're going to be calling it the 6th Red Devils, which is like the kind of colloquial Irish word for devil. You call it Devil. We go 6th Airborne Red Devils, the first Allied division to enter action on D-Day. The 6th Airborne was tasked with securing the left flank of the invasion. It was quite heavily equipped for the airborne unit, with medium AT guns and light tanks being brought by air by heavy Hamilcar cargo gliders. That's really cool. It was really interesting that they floated tanks in. So, taking a quick look at the division, we are very, very, very light on the anti-air. Quite a decent number of artillery, although again, relatively light on it. We have a good amount of anti-tank, a good amount of infantry, a good amount of recon, and a lot of air. So this is going to be a very air-heavy deck, I feel. Let's have a little bit of a start here with the recon. So we could take some carrier recce. The big advantage of these is that they're quite hard for infantry to kill, but they're quite vulnerable to other things. So, I tells you what. We're going to take these, and what's their stealth? Their stealth is very good compared to the Pathfinders, which is also very good. So the question is, do we want the AB Scouts or do we want the Pathfinders? So what's the major difference between these? The Pathfinders are a 10-man squad, and they also bring smoke to the fight, whereas the AB Scouts are a 5-man squad with a little bit more firepower because they come with that 7.72, 7.7 millimeter. I'm not sure what gun that is. I can't remember what it is. I recognize it though. It's a Bren gun. That's what it is. Pathfinders are a little bit more expensive and they come in a truck, whereas the AB Scouts, they come in with a regular. So these could be kind of cheaper. We could also bring a sniper. Oh, that's really cool. 500 meters with a Willys MMG. I tell you what, we're gonna bring a set of snipers because they're interesting. I want to try them out. We'll bring some Pathfinders because they operate as they can also fight. And then could I bring some recce? I like the idea of bringing these elite units. A lot of these elite units. What's the Stag Hound? Stag Hunt? It's a 37mm gun, 8 AP. Holy crap! Yeah, we want to bring some of these. The question is, I think we might bring? Yeah, we'll bring like this amount. So they're we got some late game firepower in our scouts, and then we will take. I think I'll take some AB Scouts. I like the idea of having a good mix of different kinds of recon at my disposal. And then when I bring some more expensive Pathfinders again, I could bring snipers to really control that infantry. Let's see, what'll we do? I'll bring some extra AB Scouts because they're cheap and expendable. I need cheap expendable recon, and plus they're actually quite elite. Okay, so that'll cover my recon. I want to have a lot of recon. If I'm infantry heavy, you want a lot of recon in my opinion. So we'll get started on infantry here. Oh my goodness, with a lot of very elite infantry, not really great anti-tank capabilities on them. We will want some AB Paras. Let's compute the differences between the AB Paras and the AB Bren group. The major differences is that the Bren group has 2 Brens, lacks AT, and is weaker in close range. Well, the infantry very rarely get into close range, so I'm kind of tempted to take the Bren groups as my primary and then just mix in a sprinkle of AB Paras. They're quite equitable. Simply the AP Bren group is better at fighting at range. So I'll tell you what I'll take. I'll take one of each. Will we take some Vickers machine guns? They are pretty decent. I can never really make these things work for me though, which is a bit upsetting. Do we want some Assault Pioneers? I never really make Assault Pioneers work for me. Air landing. Now these are cool infantry. I would like some air landing guys, so I'll take some of those. We got an AB leader. I'll take the air landing guys because I really like the idea of them. They're quite versatile. They have some decent mid-range combat capability with 4 7.7mm guns. And they also have a Bren gun, but the 200 range, the 200 meter range AT gun is pretty cool. I don't know if I want to bring Assault Pioneers. They're very cheap. That's the advantage there. But I think I will take some extra rifle leaders maybe. Because they also come with that AT. And then I'll bring a second group of air landings. And this will form the bulk of my forces in the late game. And then I'll bring one set of heavy machine guns in the late game. Well, no, I tell you what, I'll bring the early game MMGs, see if I can, or HMGs, see if I can make them work. Okay, in terms of tanks, we are going to want a lot of command units to help improve our units, because I've been kind of following in the games I've been playing sort of off screen. The command units have been proving very valuable in getting kills. Now Tetrarchs are very, very nice in that they have quite a large gun on a relatively cheap and light chassis. Now they have a pretty bad accuracy, but now what's the difference between the Little John? No, the Little John is a big beast of a yoke. Sort of major disadvantages, it's relatively short range, so we're gonna have to, it's more of an ambush sort of tank. Still quite useful. And it lacks, they do lack HE, which is scary, but I would like to take some Tetrarchs. We'll come back to the tank tab, I think. Well, let's have a look. What do we want to take in the late game? Do we want some Cromwell 4s or Cromwell 5s? So the Cromwell 5 has the same gun, pretty much everything the same, has the same machine guns, it has the same armor. So what's the difference between them? Between the Cromwell 4 and the Cromwell 5? I'm not really seeing a difference between them. They both have, these are the same tank. These are the same tank. Just these ones are a little bit more experienced. Oh yeah, I'm really not seeing a difference between these. Now the Challenger. I do think I want a pack of Challengers because having big meaty tanks in the late game will be really nice. Although they're very lightly armored, which is scary. We do need big guns though, so I will take one pack of Challengers. And they'll serve as my late game main unit. And then in the mid game, I could take some Cromwell 5s. And then take a pack of Tetrarchs with command Tetrarchs in the early game, and that'll form the basis of my early game of my tanks. Very light on tanks actually, a little bit scary. I think I may end up taking some of these. Oh, these are command Cromwells. Oh, these are command Cromwell 4s. I see. This makes more sense now. We'll see. We'll see what we do. I didn't see the little star that indicated to the leader unit. Okay, so in terms of support, I'm not going to take any flamethrowers because I really don't like flamethrowers. I might take some of these Vickers Jeeps. This is more of a close fire support vehicle. It's quite nice actually. Now I could take a Dingo. Dingos are pretty cool. Although this one only appears in phase B, oddly. A little bit sad that I don't get the early game Cromwell. I could get a mid game Cromwell and it has a really big power, but I think I might give that a miss. I think I might take some of these early game Tetrarchs. I'll take some supply jeeps in the early game as well, and I'll take some Vickers jeeps. And then how about in the mid game I'll take a Cromwell, and that should form the basis of my support section. So in terms of anti-tank, I'm not against taking some of these AB Piats, but we will see. I would like a 75mm pack in the early game because where I deploy that could be really important. It's relatively expensive though. We'll see. So it looks like a lot of, we might have to take some Piats. Just for the sake of it, because I think, relatively speaking, in the early game, our anti-tank is limited by range, and this could just help us get over that hump a little bit. We take a few AB Piats, and we take a pack 75 in the early game, and that should pretty much cover us, actually. I won't be taking the Phase B Piats, because I'm not a huge fan of them. I much prefer anti-tank guns. So we could take a 6-pounder. With the universal carrier, you pay an extra 15 for essentially a machine gun on a little chassis. So I think I might just take the cheaper one. Yeah, we'll just take the cheaper one, and then we'll take a 17-pounder in Phase B as well, and then we'll take two 17-pounders in Phase C. And this will form like a very nice cross-sectional sort of thing to do. Have something available to us at every phase in the game in terms of anti-tank. We have one gun plus a Piat. Now, in terms of anti-air, this is not a strength of the division, so we're probably going to be skipping kind of heavily on this. In fact, to the point where I'm tempted to not take anything here and just put it into my other stuff. Like, maybe we'll take... Tell you what, we'll take some Staghounds, and maybe that's all we'll take. Now let's have a look at the air. The air is something we're definitely going to want to focus on. I think we have so much room, we will take a scout plane. I will want some fighter. Well, I will want a fighter here. Tempest would be good. Now, mosquitoes. I've heard a lot of good things about these mosquitoes. Because apparently they're really difficult to actually do anything to. So I want to try out the napalm bomber. I want to try that out. I think I will take the elite Tempest. I've been favoring the elites more and more because they're so much more accurate. So I could take 660 kilo payload, or an 800 or a 920 kilo payload in Phase B, and the difference here is mainly AoE and damage. So let's see, I think I will I think I want to try out like every type of mosquito that's available. And then take some AT Typhoons and hope these two fighters will form the basis of my air control. A lot of air in this deck, and then we've got room for 3 artillery pieces. So I'm thinking, ooh, an early game howitzer. That could be really cool. Has a 2,000 meter range for 100 points. We could bring that up pretty early and then start hammering people. Oh wow, actually, it would be really cool to go for a howitzer naval battery early game, and then in the mid game take some extra howitzers. I like that idea. I would like to take another mortar, so I'm gonna have to pull a unit from somewhere. Where am I gonna pull a unit from? I don't think it's necessary to take this mosquito, maybe. I want the Typhoon AT because it provides anti-tank capabilities to me in the late game. Although I could take it in the mid game, right? I could take that in the mid game instead. So what could I lose from the deck without losing anything? I think I could lose these Staghorns actually. So we'll get rid of the Staghorns. I just bumped my microphone like an idiot, and we'll take the AB 3-in-1 mortar, or 3-inch mortar, because we just need like cheap artillery in the early game, and mortars provide that. But we will want to be using our howitzers because I like the idea of them. So we're very light on the anti-air. So let's see if we can make some adjustments here. Do I need these Staghorns? I do need armored vehicles. That's the thing. I do need armored vehicles because I'm very light on armored vehicles. Very heavy on infantry, very light on armored vehicles. So taking a few extra armored vehicles is actually okay. So I'm okay with taking these Staghorns. Could I take more actually is the question. I could take extras. The I don't know if I like that, but I do want to play around with these snipers. These snipers seem really cool. I think that's going to be it, though. I think I'm pretty happy with this deck. You know, I feel like we've got a well-rounded set of recon in the early game, and then some armored recon later to follow up with these tanks. I've got some pretty good early game tanks. Not very good in terms of their capabilities, but they're good because they have a relatively big gun and they're relatively cheap. So they should be able to ambush and hold their own against certain things. They're not very good at actual. They can't shoot HE, so that's kind of a downside of them. Now I do have, I would say, a pretty damn good mix of infantry here, with some really good late game infantry, or mid game infantry. Tanks are a little bit weak point of this division. I feel like a good coverage of supply. I have some good anti-tank. I have really good air. I'm gonna want to abuse the air as much as possible. So I'll tell you what, we're gonna call this the deck. So I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Remember, if you want to see more of me playing Steel Division, you'll tune in for the gameplay that'll come up right with this video, or you can subscribe to my channel to get notified when new videos come out. If you want to directly support my channel, please leave a like in the video, and if you want to give me your feedback on this deck, make sure you leave a comment. Other than that, I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I love you all very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.